I like to do one-liners and say, brainstorm more ways to say this. And this is really great for tweaking Chat GPT copy that like you don't like either, right? Because a lot of times, whenever you're going back and forth with Chat GPT, a lot of times people are like, rewrite this, make it more friendly, or rewrite this, make it more whatever. You're having it rewrite the entire thing for you. But instead, how about you just like copy paste that into your social media scheduler, you go through and edit it yourself. And then if you hit a line where you're like, ugh, this line is horrible. Like, I like the idea behind it, but like, I don't like the way ChatGPT said it. It's like not me. Don't have it rewrite the entire caption. Just have it rewrite that one line or something like that, right?
Welcome to Authentic AI for Entrepreneurs, the podcast that shows you how to leverage the power of AI technology without wasting your time or selling your soul. Let's embrace making AI work for you.
Hey, my human friend, and welcome to Authentic AI Podcast. I'm your host, Kinsey, and I am so excited to share today's conversation with you because this is actually a conversation that I had on my friend Amber's podcast recently. Amber is the host of the Content Collective podcast, and oh man, I so admire and appreciate this woman, and we got to geek out about, of course, AI tools. I think that this conversation was super interesting and we really got to dive deep into a lot of actionable tips. So I know you're going to love this too. If you do, make sure that you share this episode with a business buddy who could also use to listen to it. And don't forget to check out Amber on Instagram at Amber Figlow. I will link it in the show notes below, but she is truly awesome. And if you're looking for another podcast to listen to, definitely check hers out. All right, let's go ahead and dive right in.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Content Collective. Today, I actually have a special guest. I have Kinsey of Authentic AI for Entrepreneurs. So welcome today. I'm super excited to have you here. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here too. Well, for those that aren't familiar, would you mind introducing yourself, telling us who you are, what you do, who you do it for? Yes, definitely. Well, my name is Kinsey. Hello. And I've been an entrepreneur for 5+ years now, which is kind of crazy. I actually started my business, Feel Good Social, like 5 years ago-ish. And I've just been growing that. Our kind of little tagline has always been helping down-to-earth entrepreneurs show up online in a way that feels good to you without wasting your time or selling your soul. So that's just kind of the angle that I take my approach to business, I guess. But about a year ago is when I first started hearing about, the AI phenomenon and when all the AI tools started really flooding the digital entrepreneur space and stuff. And I'll be honest with you, my first kind of reaction to AI tools was grumpy. I was like, total curmudgeon. Yes. I was like, shaking my fist at the neighbor's fence. Like, isn't the internet fake enough as it is? What's this going to do to our critical thinking and our creativity and all that different stuff? And then I kind of had one of those long drive epiphanies where I was listening to a podcast about AI tools and I realized that I was kind of having this grumpiness just because I was afraid of the change that this was going to bring to our world. And I realized that the best thing I could do instead of just being like, ew, was turn toward it, get curious about it, and figure out how can we make this work for us. So, authenticity is a huge part of my brand, saving time without, sacrificing the quality of work, all that different stuff. So then I created my sister brand, Authentic AI, and that's kind of what we do is figure out how can we use these tools as solopreneurs or entrepreneurs with small teams, small business owners, and really get them to work for us, save time without feeling like we are turning our brands into robots.
So I love that you mentioned that you were grumpy about it because I was too. I'm not going to lie. And it was one of those things I have to, now that I'm on the other side and I'm on the AI bandwagon or whatever you want to call it, I now look back and I'm like, I was being a little grumpy curmudgeon. I was like, and it was because I was scared and it was new. And it was for the first time in a long time, I feel like we had an injection in our industry of like, you all have to learn a brand new skill. And that hasn't happened in a while. So kind of talk me through. I have recently fallen back in love with Chat GPT. I pay for the new upgrade. I've created my own GPT and I'm finally on like the
using Chat GPT in a really authentic way, we'll use that word. But what are some like mistakes that you see people make when they start with Chat GPT? Or if you're feeling a little curmudgeon-y, how can we kind of overcome that?
Oh, totally. Let's start with the curmudgeonness, because this is definitely something I had to deal with. I had to have, a talk with myself about this, because I call it the AI scaries, right? There's lots of different AI scaries out there. Firstly, is this going to turn our brands into robots and sacrifice our authenticity? But what I've found in using these tools is that it's like you said, there really are ways that we can use these tools in an authentic way. We can bring our own thoughts, opinions, beliefs. We can train it on our brand and our brand voice and all that different stuff. We can use these tools without sacrificing our authenticity. And at the same time, we are always going to run anything that ChatGPT throws our way through the filter of our brand. We are the gatekeepers for our brand, right? So it really doesn't have to happen. And I will say, too, that I honestly, I hate, I call them the AI bros out there, the people out there who are like, use these 200 generic prompts and like get these generic responses, or create 30 days of content in 30 seconds with ChatGPT. And I'm like, guys, that's not realistic. Come on, And so I actually crunched the numbers of how much time I'm actually saving with these tools.
I love numbers. Let's hear it.
Oh, I don't. Well, you know how numbers are. To see, in general, I know I'm saving a lot of time, but what actually does this look like for me, right? And I was blown away, girl. So just to put it into perspective, I really was taking into account that the amount of time that it still takes me to do tasks. And that's with making sure that I'm not just copy pasting from ChatGPT in a generic way, right? So I will say, I love writing, but I am a long writer, or like a slow writer, I guess I should say. Like it takes me a while to write a caption or an email or course content or whatever it is. And before ChatGPT, it could take me up to an hour to write an Insta caption. I will admit it.
I feel you there.
Yes, but with ChatGPT, now it takes me 15 minutes, using techniques. It'll spit something out at me that's very similar to what I was looking for. And then I'll take, a good 10 minutes to tweak it and then, copy paste over, find the whatever image I want to share with it, and bam, there you go. So it's like that sort of stuff. But I'm saving up to 3 hours a day, 15 hours a week, and 70 hours a month using these tools in my business. And now I'm able to run 2 brands and 2 podcasts and do all this stuff. Like, I'm doing crazy amounts more, which, okay, we can talk about, boundaries with AI and leaving some wiggle room to enjoy your life. But like, it is crazy how much these tools can save you, right? So just realizing that, yes, these tools, you can use them in an authentic way. Are they going to take your job? Not really, but it's a good idea to figure out how to use them, because they can help you do your work better and you don't want to get left behind. Is this going to just turn us into mindless sheep and get rid of our creativity and our critical thinking skills? That's another big AI scary that I had for myself. And like, no, whenever you start using these tools, they actually can expand and amplify your creativity. And just using these tools in a way where you're asking every day, like, does this reflect my brand? What's my opinions of this? Like, it actually puts your critical thinking skills into practice more so, So those are just a few mindset flips that I have when it comes to the AI stuff. And yeah, we can totally talk about some of those big mistakes I see people making.
I was going to say, I love that you mentioned, like, listen, the AI bros out there, here's this prompt to do all of these things in 2 seconds. And then people get frustrated with the end result because the output is, let's be honest, it's kind of shitty. It doesn't sound like a human. Of course, it's going to sound like a robot because you aren't giving it the proper input. That's the way that I like to approach using ChatGPT or any other AI tool. You got to give it good input to give good output. And that's the thing is, like, yes, these AI tools are going to save you time, but you also need time invested in the tools to train it to, we have to learn how to prompt it correctly. So there is still a learning curve. There is still some stuff that you got to do beforehand. But when you said 70 hours a month, that's insane. That's just truly mind-blowing to me. Now I'm going to have to keep track of it because I'm like, I use my Chat GPT for content repurposing, and I used to do that manually. And oh my God, it would take forever. And I do this for a living, and I'm like, this takes so long. But yeah, let's talk through a couple of those mistakes that you see. Let's just talk about like maybe the top 1 or 2 that when people come to you with these frustrations of like, oh, it doesn't sound like me, it's a robot, blah, blah, blah. What are some mistakes that people might be making?
Totally. Oh my gosh, girl. I know. I hear that all the time. And I've been there too, where you're going to Chat GPT and you're like, write me a social media caption. And then it gives you something that is not sounding like you. So you're like, make it more friendly. And then it's like a freaking cheerleading coach or something like that. And then you're like, be more professional. And it's like a college professor. And you're like, feeling like you're pulling teeth, trying to get the freaking response that you want out of this tool. And you're like, I wish I had just done this myself because I would have gotten it faster. Like,
I've been there. I've said that. Verbatim, that was my thought process. So I'm glad I wasn't the only one. I thought I was going crazy, but yes, I agree totally.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's a normal thing. And we've all been there. Exactly. And so, there's a few different things, and you mentioned a lot of them too. Firstly, just like understanding how to work with these tools so that you're not just saying, write me a social media caption, so that you're integrating it into your workflow, giving it the exact stuff that you want out of it. I always like to encourage people to just be working along in your day. And whenever you hit a pressure point, use ChatGPT to get you through that faster. So it could be writer's block. It could be just not knowing what the heck to post or staring at a freaking blinking cursor. It could also be tech troubleshooting. It could be taking the transcript from the meeting that you just had, throwing that into ChatGPT and asking it for action points for your client that you just coached. Shit like that. You know what I mean? We can say the curse words on this show, right?
This is, yes, absolutely. I was like, we are unfiltered here.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so it's like things like that. But the best thing I can recommend is that you train ChatGPT on your brand first. Okay, so this is how, if you think about, I always like to think about, I'm from Colorado. So, I'm always like the high school intern who just got back from getting high out by the garbage can. And like he comes in, he's like, what? You want me to write you a social media post? And like he doesn't know anything about your brand. He doesn't know anything about your strategy or your beliefs or who you're even talking to, your ideal customers. He would write a really shitty social media post for you.
Absolutely.
We need to tell it all about our brand in order for it to be able to do the work that we want it to do for us. And so just, it's going deeper than just being like, I'm a social media manager. Like even going deeper than like, I'm a social media manager serving wedding planning clients. Like that can be helpful already. But, training it deeply, deeply on your brand's mission, vision, values, beliefs, opinions, training it deeply on your ideal customers, pain points, desires, lifestyle,
all the marketing things.
All the marketing things. And then also, training it on your brand voice. If you want it to write copy for you, there's two different ways you can do that. Firstly, trying to describe your brand voice. And that's going deeper than saying, be friendly. There's way more descriptive words. Your brand is not basic. Okay, guys. And then also you can always, if you are confident in your writing style, sharing copy that you've already written with ChatGPT and having it analyze your copy for you, like that can be so, so helpful for having it to be able to replicate your brand voice in the way you want it, right?
Absolutely. Okay. I love that you mentioned all that. And there was one thing that really stuck out to me, and hopefully, listeners kind of feel the same way. You said something about like when you hit a roadblock, lean into ChatGPT. And I know like part of your whole mantra and messaging is like, we're not going to be creative every day. Like we truly aren't. Even as creatives, we are going to come across those roadblocks. So like, talk me through when you're having this creative roadblock. What are we using ChatGPT for? Because I know I love having a little conversation with it. Like it's my best friend for brainstorming. And I'm like, I'm stuck here. Help me here. Like, what about this? What about that? But like, what's your approach in using these AI tools for a creative roadblock?
Yes, totally. Oh man, there's so many different little things that you can do, right? And it just depends on what you need help with. And I do always recommend, like, especially if you are creative in general, we do all have those days where we like hit the wall, bang our head against the keyboard for like an hour because we're like, I can't think of that word. Or like you're typing along and you're like, ugh, this has been so good up until this point. Now I don't know how to finish this, right? So it's things like where you can give ChatGPT examples of things that you want it to fill in the blanks for. This is an awesome way to do like Reels hooks and things like that. It's not like write me Reels hooks, which you can, and ChatGPT does come up with good ones for sure. But like if if you're scrolling Instagram for inspiration and you're like, ooh, I love this reel hook that this woman used, you can say, help me customize this reel hook to fit my brand or brainstorm ideas that I could make this fit my brand, right? I do this for captions too. And this is so helpful and quick for captions. I always pretty much know how I want my caption to flow and go, right? But like finding the little specific like marks where I want to hit, the points that I want to hit is kind of difficult. So like sometimes I'll be like, ready to blank question? Like, I got you. And then, you know, blah, 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 blah. And I'll like fill in a blank caption and have Chat GPT fill in the blanks for me. And then, you know, of course, go back and tweak it. But that's super helpful. If I'm typing along and I hit that roadblock, you can always have Chat GPT finish something for you, go back and tweak it. I like to do one-liners and say, brainstorm more ways to say this. And this is really great for tweaking Chat GPT copy that like you don't like either, right? Because a lot of times it'll send you something back and you're like, this is okay. So here's something I've run into, right? Is like whenever you're going back and forth with Chat GPT, a lot of times people are like, rewrite this, make it more friendly, you know, or rewrite this, make it more whatever. And it's like, you're having it rewrite the entire thing for you. But instead, how about you just like copy paste that into your social media scheduler, you go through and edit it yourself. And then if you hit a line where you're like, ugh, this line is horrible. Like I like the idea behind it, but like, I don't like the way ChatGPT said it. It's like not me. Don't have it rewrite the entire caption. Just have it rewrite that one line or something like that, right?
I've never even tried that. That just like blew my mind right there because I'll do the same thing. I'm like, this ain't it. Rewrite it. And I'm like, it'll literally rewrite the same thing, but just like move words around. And I'm like, yeah, that's the same thing. Thanks for trying, you know, and then I like move on and get frustrated. So I'm so glad you mentioned that. That's such a great little tidbit there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So kind of to wrap this whole thing up, this is like a really big conversation that I like to have with some of my entrepreneur friends. And to give some context to the question before I get to the question. So I have a content manager and I also use AI tools. And I encourage her to use all these AI tools that are built into some of the softwares you use and things like that. At what point do you say, I can lean on AI for XYZ tasks? Or do I need to outsource this to a person? Like in your expert opinion, where's that threshold? So for me, just to again give some more context, I want her to manually edit my YouTube videos. Yes, there are certain tools that'll take out the ums and the ahs and AI will kind of clip down certain things. But at a certain point, I think it does need a bit of a human touch. Like, do you have a threshold for that and kind of how you feel about those things?
Oh, I love this question, lady. Yeah, okay, I'm probably going to geek out here for a second.
Yes, let's hear it.
Well, I think more people need to talk about this, right? Like I've asked this question to several people on my own podcast and have been a little bit less than happy with their responses where they're just like, well, yeah, I encourage my team to use AI. And I'm like, okay, like, what does that look like? And they're like, I just say use it. There's definitely things in our business where we need the human touch. And that's actually how I teach my approach to AI tools as a human first approach, right? But I can't do it all. I'm at the point in my business where I have like so many ideas. I have my systems, but I still am human and I can't like myself do all the things even with these AI tools, right? And I'm actually frustrating myself. So I'm like, oh, I need to hire some team members to help me here and stuff, right? And so I would really recommend that there are those things that it's like, okay, if they're the little tasks that you don't mind doing, if you really want your own personal touch with these tasks and stuff like that, then definitely, you know, you can lean on AI tools and run your own filter of like your brand stuff and whatnot. But then you can also outsource a lot of these things that you're leaning on AI for to other VAs and humans and teach them your methods with the AI tools too, so that they can be more efficient for you as well, right? And I think that it's really, really important if you are outsourcing work and people are using AI tools to explain what your level of quality and expectations are, and also give them the tools and resources, instructions, expectations they need when using these tools to be able to do the work for you so they can use these tools, but you're still getting the quality that you're expecting. And so, yeah, it's one of those things where I think that it's a great idea to outsource certain tasks. But for example, I use Descript to edit my podcasts and I save so much freaking time. That's adding into the 70 hours a month, girl. It used to take me like 6 hours. I'm a slow editor too. It used to take me like 6 hours to freaking edit the audio only of my podcast, right? Now with Descript, I'm editing both shows, video and audio. I'm creating the social media clips. I'm doing publishing to YouTube, publishing to my podcast, publishing on my website, sending out the email, all this different stuff within like 2 hours normally. It takes me for an episode.
Do you want to create more Instagram Reels but get stuck on what to post? I hear you. That's why I'm excited to share our new free resource, the Reels Prompt Playbook for Chat GPT. This playbook includes 20 ready-to-use AI prompts for Reels, hooks, and captions, and makes it super easy to create trendy content that grabs attention without spending endless hours scrolling Instagram for inspiration. Whether you want to share behind the scenes, offer quick tips, or tap into the latest trends, the Reels Prompt Playbook has you covered. Download your free Reels prompt playbook at DIY.ai/Reels. And the best part, these ChatGPT prompts are designed to work for entrepreneurs in any industry. Plus, you can pair these prompts with any trending audio or any video that you find on your phone. Basically, they're super easy, super quick, and will keep your content super authentic while saving you loads of time and headache. Grab your free playbook now at DIY.ai/Reels and start showing up on Instagram consistently today.
Which is insane.
That's insane.
But, could you edit an episode in like 15 minutes with Descript? Sure. If you just like do all the AI filters and like just whatever. Okay, good to go. But I don't like that. That's not the quality of my podcast because Descript does, even with the automatic removals, tends to like clip words, know. I really want I listen through to every episode. I use all the AI automatic stuff, but then I still listen through every episode and have that human touch. And it still saves me time without like sacrificing that quality, right? And so that's probably what I would encourage us to do with our team members and whatnot is just like be saying, this is the quality I'm expecting. Here's my workflow that I have established. If you want to use this, that would be great. I can teach you on it. Or just make sure that it's really important to me that we're listening through every episode or whatever. Is that helpful?
Oh my God, so helpful. And it's so funny. You mentioned Descript. And for those listening, I also use Descript to edit as well. And yes, I feel the same as you. There's remove the ums and the ahs. And sometimes that one messes up. For me, it's the shortening the word gaps or the pauses.
Totally.
I remember I used to have to use Premiere Pro to edit all my videos and you had to clip those and it takes forever. And I agree with you. I can edit. I could probably sit down and edit a YouTube video, a podcast in less than an hour now and be happy with the quality because of some of these tools. But yeah, there's a tool inside Descript. It's edit for clarity. And it's cool and all. It'll get your podcast done in 10 minutes. But they removed some things that I'm like, that is a good thing that we said. Why did it take that out? So I think there's still a learning curve a little bit with the AI, but I'm the same way that I still review everything that I put into AI. Even if a tool is helping me save time, I still, at least at this point in where we're at with AI, review every single thing that I'm posting on the internet that goes out that I've had AI have a hand in. And that's just what works best for me. I know not everybody feels the same. So I'm so glad you mentioned that. And thank you for your expertise on that. So yeah, as we wrap up the conversation, this one's just more fun. I want to know, what about AI currently would you keep and what would you get rid of? I just want to kind of hear. This is just a fun one.
What would I keep and what would I get rid of? Oh, there's a few different things. Okay. Firstly, oh man, I kind of got into an Instagram fight with someone this morning.
I love the tea.
I have vulnerability hang but when you have opinion hang up, you're like, oh, should I have gotten all fired up about that?
I feel you there because I'm the first person to clap back online. So I get it.
Okay. Thank you. I knew you would understand.
I do.
I mean, okay. The one thing that I definitely want to bring up for your audience right now is, well, firstly, we all need to learn how to use these tools, right? Because it's so easy to get frustrated with the results you're getting. And it's so easy to pick out the AI written stuff that's copy pasted these days. Please don't use unlock, unleash.
Oh my God. The one I always get is delve. I'm I have never used that in my life until I came across Chat GPT. I said, what is this word? So
there are AI cliches, guys. So just like we said, learn how to use the tools, run it through the filter of your brand so you don't turn your brand into a robot. But other than that, these tools are so helpful for saving time.
And the one thing I definitely want to bring up is this has been such a hot topic for me lately. More men are using AI tools than women. According to like a study, men are 2 times more likely to use the top 50 AI tools than women are. There's a few different reasons for this, of course. Firstly, women aren't like really raised culturally to be interested in STEM subjects, and like they don't feel as techie as men, right? So they're generally less quick to adapt the new technologies and all that different stuff. But the ones that get me really fired up are, firstly, women are more concerned about authenticity and the way that they're represented to the world, because we need to be more concerned because we're more likely to be judged and all that different stuff, or less respected. Also, this one hit home for me really hard because I remember the first time someone on a podcast asked me, so what do you say to the women who are feeling guilty using these tools? Like it feels like cutting corners, or like we're not doing the work. And I was like, oh, this is a thing. And this is what I got in the Instagram fight with someone about.
Oh, this one's perfect. That's fine.
Because she was like, you wouldn't cut corners with your clients, right? Like in her post, I was like, oh no. Oh, the tiger is coming out,
Oh my God.
Guys, come on. Okay, here's the thing. This is business in general, right? We need to embrace these tools as women. Like, why is it that when men do things, they're innovative and productive or use AI tools? And why is it when women do, we think, oh my gosh, we're cutting corners, we're going to be judged for it? Like, yeah, we might
cheating
be because
Shortcut.
we're women. Cheating.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's like, we need to start by flipping the script for ourselves as women, because that's how we make the change, right? So just realizing that it's not cutting corners, that it can save you time, and you don't have to sacrifice your quality of work or authenticity. Let's just start using these tools, guys. Because also, you had some more statistics. I know you love the numbers.
Always.
And I will say that I actually first kind of this topic was brought up to me by Dr. Nikki Sweeney. She literally just did a TED Talk about it. So I just have to give her a shout out too. But okay, so literally AI tools can boost our productivity by up to 40% is the study, that was put out there and stuff. And that equals 2 days extra of work per week. And if men are using AI tools more than women, they will be more likely to get more done more quickly, be up for the promotion, be up for the pay raise, and the gender income gap will increase instead of decrease like we're working toward, right? And then also, AI tools are user trained. Like whenever the people who are using AI tools are training future models of Chat GPT, and if we don't use these tools as women, we're not going to be represented. And the other, okay, I'm just, the fight I was in this morning, she was like, well, yeah, more, these tools are so bro-y, they're just like spitting bro language back out at us. I'm like, yeah, but not using them isn't the answer. We need to be putting our feminine energy into these tools.
Some empathy. We need to give these tools some empathy here.
Right. So anyway, I've just been trying to bring this up as much as possible because it's not just for us, right? Like you and I have been using these tools. I'm sure your audience has also dabbled in it too, but it's spreading the conversation and the word to others, right? I talk to my mom about AI tools every day because I can't stop talking about them. And she talks to her coworkers. She works at a middle school, I talk to everyone in my life about this, and just spreading the word and getting more people comfortable with these tools is really, really helpful.
I love that she mentioned all this. You literally just blew my mind in the last 5 minutes. And it's a conversation. This is something I didn't even think of, and it's prevalent in a lot of industries. And I kind of want to, pose it this way. Men would probably, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, when they're using AI tools, it's probably considered delegation. It's like you're delegating that task to somebody else, whereas women were like, oh, I can do it all myself, because that's the way we are societally trained to do things, So it's like, ladies, let's lean into the ease of everything. Come on. I was like, you want to use them even more now. Now I'm fired up.
Yeah.
Especially, it's so interesting. I never thought about how it's training future models. So now I want to go jump into Chat GPT, whisper into it. Here's how you're going to do this and how you're going to do that. It's just so I can help train it.
No, I know. That's what I said to Dr. Nikki Sweeney when she was on my podcast. I was like,
this is a call to action. If I ever heard, she's like, it's a call to arms, ladies. I think call to arms for the AI revolution. I love it. This is so good. All right. Well, thank you so much for this enlightening, inspiring, and thoughtful conversation. I really want my audience to know you. So where can they find you? What can they get from you? Plug all the things.
So much. Thank you so much. This has been so fun. You can find me. I have the Authentic AI for Entrepreneurs podcast. You can just search for that. You'll probably find it. It's a bright purple podcast.
Cutest cover art ever.
Yeah. And then authentically for entrepreneurs.com or DIY with .ai also forwards there. So it's like, I need something shorter than that.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I get it.
And I have several freebies. I have a Reels prompt playbook for Chat GPT that's kind of doing the plug and play, fill in the blank prompts I was talking about earlier. I also have the Authentic AI toolkit. I know you're a tool girl.
I am.
When it comes to AI tools, I was like, I need a library to help me organize all these things because all the things my podcast guests are recommending and stuff, I'm like, I need to be able to remember these and find them when I need them. So that's the Authentic AI Tech Toolkit. It's just a living Notion database that I'll give you access to too. So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Again, you guys, this was the Content Collective with our special guest, Kinsey, today. So don't forget to hit subscribe, download, all the things, and I will see you guys next week.
How great was this combo with Amber, you guys? You know, I always love to geek out about AI tools, no matter what. And it was just so fun to chat with Amber, especially about just the actionable ways we can be using AI for content creation in our business every day. And a few of those little tricks I have up my sleeve that really help me save time every day. So if you enjoyed this combo as much as I did, make sure that you share it with a business friend who could also use to listen to it. And don't forget to leave us 5 stars or a friendly review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on, because it really does help us to continue growing our Authentic AI community and spreading that Authentic AI message. All right, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll catch you next time I catch you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Authentic AI for Entrepreneurs, my friend. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your shows.